Deep beneath the Amazon rainforest, archaeologists discovered something that shouldn't exist. A perfectly preserved metallic sphere embedded in rock dating back 65 million years. The object defies everything we know about human civilization and metallurgy. Yet, there it sits, impossible and real. This isn't science fiction. This is just one of thousands of archaeological anomalies that challenge our understanding of history. From impossible artifacts to unexplained structures, our planet holds secrets that modern science simply cannot decode. These mysteries suggest civilizations far more advanced than we imagined. Tonight, we're diving into 60 of the most baffling ancient mysteries that continue to stump researchers worldwide. Prepare to question everything you thought you knew about human history. Some of these discoveries will fundamentally change how you view our past. The evidence is overwhelming, the questions are profound, and the implications are staggering. Welcome to the greatest unsolved puzzles of the ancient world. Let's begin this journey into the impossible. In 1901, Greek sponge divers pulled something extraordinary from the Mediterranean seafloor. What they found would rewrite the history of ancient technology. The Antikythera mechanism, a bronze device more complex than any known ancient artifact, lay hidden for over 2,000 years beneath the waves. This isn't just an old clock. The mechanism contains 37 meshing bronze gears precisely calibrated to predict astronomical events with stunning accuracy. It could calculate the positions of the sun, moon, and planets decades into the future. No comparable technology would appear again until the 14th century. Greek engineers somehow created this computational marvel around 100 BCE, using techniques that supposedly weren't invented for another millennium. The device required knowledge of advanced mathematics, precise metallurgy, and sophisticated engineering principles that challenge our understanding of ancient capabilities. How did ancient Greeks develop such advanced technology? Why was this knowledge apparently lost for centuries? The Antikythera mechanism represents a level of sophistication that seems impossible for its time period. Deep in the dusty archives of the Baghdad Museum sits an object that challenges everything we know about ancient electrical knowledge. The Baghdad Battery, discovered in 1936, appears to be a 2,000-year-old galvanic cell. This clay jar contains copper and iron components arranged exactly like modern batteries. When archaeologist Wilhelm Koenig first examined these artifacts, he noticed the unmistakable signs of electrochemical corrosion. The copper cylinders showed clear evidence of acid exposure, while iron rods displayed the characteristic deterioration patterns of electrical cells. Multiple examples were found across Mesopotamian archaeological sites. Modern recreations of the Baghdad Battery successfully generate electrical current. The voltage output matches what would be needed for electroplating gold onto silver jewelry, a technique supposedly unknown until the 18th century. Yet, ancient Mesopotamian artifacts show clear signs of electroplating. Did ancient civilizations harness electricity 2 millennia before Luigi Galvani? The implications stretch far beyond simple battery technology into questions about lost knowledge and forgotten sciences that once flourished in the ancient world. High in the Bolivian Andes, at 13,000 feet above sea level, lies one of the most perplexing archaeological sites on Earth. Pumapunku consists of massive stone blocks, some weighing over 100 tons, cut with precision that rivals modern machine tools. The level of accuracy defies explanation. These megalithic stones feature perfectly straight edges, precise right angles, and complex interlocking joints that require no mortar. The cuts are so smooth they appear machine-made, yet they supposedly predate any known precision tools. Some blocks contain holes drilled with mathematical perfection that modern engineers struggle to replicate. The site's creators somehow transported these massive stones from quarries located hundreds of miles away across mountainous terrain and rivers. No known ancient technology could have moved such weights across such distances. The logistics alone represent an impossible engineering feat for a pre-industrial civilization. Carbon dating places Pumapunku's construction between 500 and 700 CE, yet the precision suggests advanced machinery. How did ancient Andean peoples achieve such remarkable accuracy? Chapter 5: The Nazca Lines Mystery. Etched into Peru's desert floor, the Nazca Lines stretch across nearly 200 square miles of arid landscape. These massive geoglyphs, invisible from ground level, form perfect geometric shapes and intricate animal designs that can only be appreciated from high altitude. Their purpose remains completely unknown. The lines were created by removing the dark surface stones to reveal lighter soil beneath. This simple technique produced images of hummingbirds, spiders, monkeys, and geometric patterns with mathematical precision. Some lines extend perfectly straight for miles across uneven terrain, maintaining accuracy despite topographical challenges. What makes the Nazca Lines truly mysterious is their creators apparently had no way to view their work from above. Without aerial perspective, how could ancient peoples ensure the accuracy of these massive designs? The precision suggests some method of aerial observation or advanced surveying techniques. The lines have survived for over 1,000 years in the desert climate, but their original purpose remains hotly debated. Were they astronomical calendars, religious symbols, or something far more extraordinary than we imagine? Chapter 6: Göbekli Tepe's Ancient Temple. In southeastern Turkey, archaeologists uncovered humanity's oldest known temple complex, predating Stonehenge by 6,000 years. Göbekli Tepe consists of massive stone pillars arranged in circles, covered with intricate carvings of animals and mysterious symbols. The site completely redefines our understanding of prehistoric civilization. Built around 9,500 BCE, Göbekli Tepe required sophisticated planning, advanced stoneworking techniques, and coordinated labor from hundreds of people. The pillars, some weighing 16 tons, were quarried from nearby limestone deposits and precisely positioned using unknown methods for that time period. The temple's creators were supposedly hunter-gatherers who hadn't yet developed agriculture or permanent settlements. Yet the complexity of Göbekli Tepe suggests a highly organized society with advanced architectural knowledge, religious beliefs, and the ability to undertake massive construction projects spanning generations. Most puzzling of all, the site was deliberately buried around 8,000 BCE, preserving it for millennia. Why would ancient peoples abandon and conceal such an important religious center? Chapter 7: The Sumerian King List. Ancient Mesopotamian texts record the reigns of kings stretching back hundreds of thousands of years. The Sumerian king list, inscribed on multiple clay tablets, documents rulers who supposedly lived for impossible lifespans. Some kings allegedly reigned for over 28,000 years, with the longest recorded reign lasting 43,000 years. These aren't mythological figures, but documented rulers with specific accomplishments, wars, and construction projects attributed to them. The list maintains detailed chronologies, cross-references with other historical documents, and correlates with archaeological findings from specific time periods and locations throughout ancient Mesopotamia. The king list divides history into two distinct periods, before and after the flood. Pre-flood kings lived for tens of thousands of years, while post-flood rulers had more human-like lifespans. This transition suggests some catastrophic event that fundamentally changed human longevity and civilization. Could these records represent actual historical accounts, compressed mythology, or evidence of non-human rulers? The consistency across multiple independent sources makes dismissing the king list challenging for historians and archaeologists. Chapter 8. Easter Island's Walking Statues. Nearly 900 massive stone statues dot Easter Island's landscape, their origins shrouded in mystery. Local legends claim these moai walked from the quarry to their final positions across the island. Recent experiments suggest this seemingly impossible feat might actually be literal truth. The average moai weighs 14 tons and stands 13 feet tall, carved from volcanic rock using primitive tools. Transportation from the quarry to various locations around the island required moving these massive sculptures across miles of rough terrain without wheels, large animals, or sophisticated machinery. Researchers have successfully demonstrated that moai could indeed walk upright using coordinated rope movements that rock the statues forward in a walking motion. This technique matches oral traditions passed down through generations of Rapa Nui people, suggesting the legends preserve actual construction methods. However, questions remain about how 850 moai were carved, moved, and erected by a small island population using only stone tools and plant fiber ropes. Chapter 9. The Yonaguni Monument. Off the coast of Japan lies a massive underwater structure that challenges conventional archaeology. The Yonaguni Monument, discovered by divers in 1986, appears to be a stepped pyramid with terraces, ramps, and carved features that suggest artificial construction rather than natural rock formation. The monument measures approximately 150 meters long and 27 meters high, featuring precise right angles, flat surfaces, and geometric patterns that seem unlikely to occur naturally. Parallel lines, straight edges, and what appear to be steps create an architectural appearance that suggests human construction. If artificially created, the monument would have been built when the area was above sea level, before the end of the last ice age, over 10,000 years ago. This timeline predates known advanced civilizations in the region by thousands of years, challenging established archaeological chronologies. Debate continues between those who see clear evidence of ancient architecture and skeptics who argue natural geological processes could create these formations. The monument remains one of archaeology's most controversial discoveries. Chapter 10. Sacsayhuaman's Megalithic Walls. Above the ancient Inca capital of Cusco stands Sacsayhuaman, a fortress constructed from massive stone blocks fitted together with impossible precision. Some stones weigh over 100 tons, yet they're positioned so perfectly that not even a knife blade can slip between them. No mortar was used anywhere in construction. The blocks aren't uniform rectangles, but complex, irregularly shaped stones that interlock like three-dimensional puzzle pieces. Each stone required custom cutting to fit perfectly with its neighbors, demanding incredible precision and planning. The level of accuracy suggests advanced mathematical knowledge and sophisticated tools. Inca legends claim the stones were lifted into place using plant-based acids that could melt rock, making the massive blocks light enough to position by hand. Spanish conquistadors reported seeing Inca workers using mysterious techniques to manipulate stones that modern machinery struggles to move. How did Inca engineers achieve such precision without steel tools, wheels, or lifting equipment? The construction methods remain unexplained despite centuries of study by archaeologists and engineers. In 1938, Chinese archaeologist Chi Pu-te discovered hundreds of unusual stone discs in caves along the China-Tibet border. These drapa stones, each about 9 inches in diameter, contain spiral grooves filled with tiny hieroglyphics that tell an extraordinary story of ancient contact with beings from the stars. The discs were found alongside the remains of people with unusually large skulls and small, frail bodies that didn't match any known human populations in the region. Cave walls contain drawings of the night sky, showing the sun, moon, stars, and Earth connected by dotted lines, suggesting astronomical knowledge or celestial mapping. When Russian scientists examined the stones in the 1960s, they reportedly discovered the hieroglyphs described a spacecraft crash landing 12,000 years ago. The inscriptions allegedly told of survivors who couldn't repair their craft and were forced to adapt to life on Earth. While skeptics question the stone's authenticity and translations, the original cave discoveries and unusual skeletal remains suggest something remarkable occurred in this remote mountain region thousands of years ago. Chapter 12: The Crystal Skulls Phenomenon. 13 crystal skulls, each carved from single pieces of quartz crystal, have appeared in collections worldwide. These artifacts demonstrate impossible craftsmanship that shouldn't be possible without modern diamond-tipped tools and precision machinery. Yet, they supposedly represent ancient Mesoamerican religious objects with supernatural properties. The most famous skull, discovered by Anna Mitchell Hedges in Belize, shows no tool marks despite being carved from one of the hardest minerals on Earth. The precision required to create such objects without fracturing the crystal exceeds capabilities of known ancient technologies. Computer analysis reveals the skulls were carved along crystal matrices, following the stone's natural molecular structure to prevent cracking during production. This technique requires detailed knowledge of crystallology and advanced understanding of quartz properties that ancient people supposedly didn't possess. Laboratory testing produces conflicting results about the skull's age and origin, with some showing modern tool marks while others display wear patterns consistent with great antiquity. The mystery deepens rather than resolves with continued investigation. Chapter 13: The Dendera Light Bulbs. Inside Egypt's Dendera temple, wall carvings appear to depict electrical lighting devices, complete with cables, filaments, and power sources. These reliefs, carved over 2,000 years ago, show objects remarkably similar to modern incandescent light bulbs, raising questions about ancient Egyptian technological capabilities. The carvings show serpent-like filaments inside bulb-shaped objects connected to braided cables that lead to box-like devices resembling electrical generators or batteries. Human figures operate the equipment, while hieroglyphs describe the process and purpose of these mysterious devices. Some researchers argue the images represent mythological scenes with symbolic meaning rather than actual technology. However, the detailed technical accuracy of the depicted equipment, including proper electrical connections and components, suggests the artists were familiar with actual working devices. Chemical analysis of temple walls reveals no soot deposits that would be expected from torch or oil lamp lighting. Yet, the interior chambers required illumination for the detailed artwork. How did ancient Egyptians light these spaces without creating smoke residue? Chapter 14. The Longyu Caves Engineering. In China's Zhejiang province, 24 massive artificial caves demonstrate engineering skills that challenge our understanding of ancient Chinese capabilities. The Longyu Caves, carved from solid rock, required removing nearly 1 million cubic meters of stone using techniques that remain unexplained. Each cave spans thousands of square meters, with 30-meter-high ceilings supported by precisely carved pillars. The walls show parallel chisel marks, maintaining consistent angles and depths throughout the massive excavation project. No evidence exists of where the removed rock was deposited. The caves show no signs of structural failure, despite lacking external support systems. Ancient engineers somehow calculated load-bearing requirements and stress distribution with accuracy that prevented collapse over centuries. This suggests advanced understanding of structural engineering principles supposedly unknown in ancient China. Construction would have required coordinated labor from thousands of workers over decades, yet no historical records document such a massive undertaking. The caves appear in no ancient Chinese texts, making their purpose and builders completely mysterious. In Lebanon's Bekaa Valley, the Roman temple complex at Baalbek rests upon foundation stones that dwarf anything built by Roman engineers. 3 massive blocks, each weighing approximately 800 tons, form part of the foundation. These stones are among the heaviest objects ever moved by ancient peoples. The blocks, known as the Trilithon, were quarried from limestone deposits 1 kilometer away and transported across uneven terrain. Roman engineering, advanced as it was, had no technology capable of moving such massive weights. Even modern construction equipment struggles with loads exceeding a few hundred tons. Nearby, an even larger stone remains in the quarry. This block, weighing an estimated 1,000 tons, was precisely cut and prepared for transport but never moved. Tool marks on its surface show the same techniques used on the completed foundation, suggesting the builders possessed consistent methods for handling impossible weights. How did ancient builders move these megalithic stones? The required technology exceeds documented Roman capabilities and challenges our understanding of ancient engineering possibilities. Chapter 16. The Vimanas of Ancient India. Sanskrit texts from ancient India describe flying vehicles called vimanas with remarkable detail about their construction, operation, and capabilities. These accounts include technical specifications, flight patterns, and even what appear to be aerial combat maneuvers between different types of craft. The Vimanika Sastra, an ancient Sanskrit text, provides detailed descriptions of Vimana construction, including materials, propulsion systems, and flight controls. The document describes multiple aircraft types, from small single-pilot craft to large multi-story vessels capable of interplanetary travel. Descriptions include advanced concepts like mercury-based propulsion systems, gyroscopic stabilization, and invisible cloaking technology. Some texts describe Vimanas as being constructed from multiple metals and powered by mysterious energy sources that don't require conventional fuel. While skeptics dismiss these accounts as mythology, the technical precision and consistent details across multiple independent texts suggest the authors were describing actual aircraft. Could ancient Indian civilization have developed advanced aerospace technology thousands of years ago?
Keep the Coral Castle mystery. Between 1920 and 1940, Latvian immigrant Edward Leedskaunen single-handedly constructed Coral Castle in Florida using massive coral stones weighing up to 30 tons each. He worked alone at night, and no one ever observed his construction methods. The site remains an engineering mystery. Leedskaunen, weighing only 100 pounds, somehow quarried, moved, and precisely positioned over 1,000 tons of coral stone without modern machinery. He claimed to understand the secrets of pyramid construction and could manipulate magnetic currents to make the stones weightless. The castle features precisely balanced rotating doors, astronomical alignments, and complex sculptural elements that required advanced planning and execution. Some stones are positioned so precisely that they maintain perfect balance despite weighing several tons. Leedskaunen left no written records of his methods and died without revealing his secrets. Various theories include levitation, electromagnetic manipulation, and unknown principles of physics that allowed him to work with massive stones using mysterious techniques.
Chapter 18: The Paracas Elongated Skulls. In Peru's Paracas Peninsula, archaeologists have discovered hundreds of human skulls with dramatically elongated shapes that don't match any known human populations. These skulls, dating back over 2,000 years, show characteristics that challenge conventional understanding of human anatomy and ancient Peruvian cultures. The elongated skulls aren't simply the result of artificial cranial deformation, a practice known from various ancient cultures. These skulls are significantly larger than normal human skulls, with different bone structure, additional sutures, and cranial capacities exceeding normal human ranges by 25%. DNA analysis has produced puzzling results, with some samples showing genetic markers that don't match known human populations. The bone density is different from normal human skulls, and the positioning of the foramen magnum, the hole where the spine connects, is altered in ways that would affect brain-spine interaction. Who were these people with unusual skull shapes and genetic markers? Their presence in ancient Peru suggests a population with distinct biological characteristics that doesn't fit standard models of human migration and development in South America.
Keep the pace lively, moving the story forward while letting key moments breathe. Your tone should mix curiosity with certainty, as though you know the secrets others have overlooked. Geological surveys produce conflicting interpretations, with some experts arguing the formation results from natural fracturing patterns, while others see clear evidence of ancient construction. The debate continues as more evidence emerges from ongoing underwater exploration.
Chapter 20: The Siberian Valley of Death. In the remote Yakutsk region of Siberia lies a mysterious valley known locally as the Valley of Death, where strange metal objects protrude from the permafrost. These artifacts, described by local hunters as smooth metallic domes and cauldrons, reportedly cause illness in those who spend time near them. The objects are described as being made from an unknown metal that remains warm to the touch even in sub-zero temperatures and shows no signs of corrosion despite exposure to harsh Siberian conditions. Local legends speak of these artifacts as ancient weapons or shelters left by sky people. Attempts to organize scientific expeditions to study the objects have faced numerous challenges, including harsh weather, difficult terrain, and reported equipment failures in the area. Most information comes from local hunters and trappers who describe the objects but are reluctant to linger near them. Some researchers theorize the objects might be remnants of ancient technology, natural phenomena, or debris from unknown sources. The remote location and extreme conditions make systematic investigation extremely difficult, leaving the valley's mysteries unsolved. Chapter 21: The Newgrange Solar Alignment. Ireland's Newgrange Monument, older than Stonehenge and the Egyptian pyramids, demonstrates sophisticated astronomical knowledge that challenges assumptions about Neolithic capabilities. Built over 5,000 years ago, this passage tomb features a roof box precisely aligned to capture the winter solstice sunrise. For exactly 17 minutes each December 21st, sunlight penetrates the narrow opening above the entrance and illuminates the inner chamber. This alignment requires precise mathematical calculations and advanced understanding of solar movements that supposedly weren't developed until much later in human history. The monument's construction required moving and positioning massive stones with incredible accuracy. The roof box opening is positioned to account for the gradual shift in Earth's axial tilt over millennia, suggesting the builders understood precession cycles that weren't officially discovered until ancient Greek times. How did Neolithic peoples possess such advanced astronomical knowledge? The precision of Newgrange suggests a level of mathematical and engineering sophistication that doesn't fit conventional models of Stone Age capabilities. Chapter 22: The Atacama Giant Humanoid. In Chile's Atacama Desert, the world's largest geoglyph depicts a humanoid figure stretching over 300 feet from head to toe. The Atacama Giant, created by removing dark surface stones to reveal lighter soil beneath, shows remarkable detail, including what appear to be rays emanating from the head. The figure's proportions are anatomically correct despite its massive size, suggesting the creators had methods for maintaining accuracy across such large dimensions. The work required coordinated effort from multiple people and careful planning to achieve the precise proportions visible from elevated viewpoints. Dating the geoglyph proves challenging, but estimates place its creation between 1,000 and 3,000 years ago. The desert's extreme aridity has preserved the image, but questions remain about why ancient peoples created such a massive human figure in this remote location. Chapter 23: The Roman Dodecahedra Mystery. Throughout former Roman territories, archaeologists have discovered over 100 small bronze objects shaped like 12-sided dice. These Roman dodecahedra, dating from the 2nd to 4th century CE, feature circular holes of varying sizes and knobs on each pentagonal face, but their purpose remains completely unknown.
The objects show consistent craftsmanship across wide geographical areas, suggesting they served an important function throughout the Roman Empire. However, no Roman texts mention these items, and they don't appear in any contemporary artwork or mosaics, making their purpose completely mysterious to historians. Various theories suggest they were surveying instruments, candlestick holders, dice, or religious objects. However, none of these explanations account for the consistent design features, careful bronze construction, and widespread distribution throughout Roman territories without any historical documentation. The dodecahedra represent one of archaeology's most persistent mysteries. Objects that were clearly important to Roman culture, yet left no trace in historical records. Their true purpose died with the civilization that created them.
In Maharashtra, India, the Kailasa Temple at Ellora represents one of the most remarkable architectural achievements in human history. This entire temple complex was carved from a single piece of rock, working from top to bottom. The project required removing over 200,000 tons of stone. The temple wasn't built but excavated, with craftsmen carving downward through solid basalt rock to create multiple stories, courtyards, and intricate sculptures. The precision required to visualize and execute such a complex design while removing material from above challenges our understanding of ancient planning capabilities. Construction supposedly occurred in the 8th century CE, yet the engineering knowledge required seems advanced even by today's standards. The structural integrity of the excavated temple required precise calculations to prevent collapse while removing massive amounts of supporting rock. How did ancient Indian architects design and execute such a complex excavation project? The Kailasa Temple suggests engineering knowledge and planning capabilities that exceed what historians believe possible for 8th century technology. Chapter 25. The Voynich Manuscript, a 15th century book written in an unknown language using an undeciphered script, has baffled cryptographers and linguists for centuries. The text contains over 37,000 words in a language that follows consistent grammatical rules, yet matches no known human language. Computer analysis reveals the text has statistical properties consistent with natural language, including word frequency distributions and grammatical structures. However, the script contains unique characters not found in any documented writing system, and the language shows no relationship to known linguistic families. The manuscript contains detailed botanical illustrations of plants that don't match any known species, astronomical diagrams with unfamiliar symbols, and what appear to be pharmaceutical recipes using unknown ingredients. These elements suggest specialized knowledge from an unknown source. Despite extensive cryptographic analysis, linguistic study, and computer-assisted decryption attempts, the Voynich manuscript remains completely unreadable. Its language, script, and content continue to resist all attempts at interpretation. Chapter 26. The Underwater Ruins of Yonaguni. Additional underwater structures near Yonaguni Island include what appear to be carved faces, geometric patterns, and architectural features that suggest a large submerged complex. These formations, if artificial, would represent a significant prehistoric civilization that was submerged when sea levels rose after the Ice Age. The structures show evidence of quarrying activities, with tool marks and extraction points where large blocks appear to have been removed. Parallel lines, right angles, and geometric shapes occur throughout the site in patterns that seem unlikely to result from natural geological processes. Marine archaeologists have identified what appear to be roads, staircases, and platform structures connecting different sections of the underwater site. The complexity suggests a planned urban environment rather than random rock formations, indicating a sophisticated prehistoric culture. If confirmed as artificial, these underwater ruins would predate known Japanese civilization by thousands of years and require completely revising archaeological timelines for human development in the Pacific region. Before their destruction in 2022, the Georgia Guidestones stood as one of America's most mysterious monuments. These granite slabs, erected in 1980, contained instructions for rebuilding civilization after a global catastrophe, written in 8 different languages, including ancient scripts. The monument was commissioned by an anonymous person using the pseudonym R.C. Christian, who paid for the construction but left no other identifying information. The guidelines included population control measures, environmental protection, and governance principles for a post-apocalyptic world. Astronomical alignments built into the structure created a celestial calendar, with holes and slots designed to track the sun, moon, and stars throughout the year. The precision of these alignments required advanced mathematical calculations and careful positioning of the massive granite blocks. The monument's destruction in 2022 ended decades of speculation about its origins, purpose, and the identity of its mysterious creator. The Georgia Guidestones took their secrets with them. Chapter 28. The Taos Cave Mysteries. Deep within Ecuador's Amazon rainforest, the Taos Cave System contains mysterious artifacts and structures that suggest advanced prehistoric activities. British explorer Stan Hall documented metal objects, precisely carved stone tablets, and what appear to be artificial chambers within the natural cave network. The caves reportedly contain a library of metal books with unknown scripts, geometric artifacts that don't match known pre-Columbian cultures, and evidence of sophisticated engineering work in the deeper chambers. Some objects appear to be made from unknown metal alloys not found elsewhere in the archaeological record. Military expeditions in the 1970s, including one involving astronaut Neil Armstrong, investigated the cave system, but results remain classified. The remote location and dangerous cave conditions limit access, leaving many reported discoveries unverified by mainstream archaeology. Local legends speak of the caves as repositories of ancient knowledge guarded by supernatural forces. Whether these stories reflect actual discoveries or mythological beliefs remains uncertain due to limited scientific investigation. Chapter 29. The Gosford Glyphs Controversy. On Australia's central coast, a series of Egyptian-style hieroglyphs carved into sandstone has sparked intense debate about ancient transoceanic contact. The Gosford glyphs contain over 200 hieroglyphic symbols that some researchers claim represent authentic ancient Egyptian script describing a colonial expedition to Australia. The glyphs tell the story of 2 Egyptian princes who became lost during an expedition and died in a foreign land. The text includes royal names, religious references, and geographical descriptions that would require detailed knowledge of ancient Egyptian language and culture to create. Skeptics argue the glyphs are modern hoaxes created by someone with knowledge of hieroglyphic writing. However, supporters point to weathering patterns, linguistic elements, and historical references that would be difficult for amateur forgers to replicate accurately.
If authentic, the Gosford glyphs would revolutionize understanding of ancient navigation and suggest Egyptian maritime capabilities far exceeded what historians currently believe possible. The controversy continues as more analysis is conducted.
Chapter 30: The Bosnian Pyramid Complex. In Bosnia-Herzegovina, Dr. Semir Osmanagic claims to have discovered Europe's largest pyramid complex, buried under centuries of vegetation and soil. The Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun, if confirmed, would be taller than Egypt's Great Pyramid and constructed with advanced techniques unknown in ancient Europe. Ground-penetrating radar has revealed geometric structures beneath the hills, including tunnels, chambers, and what appear to be construction materials not found naturally in the region. Some blocks show concrete-like composition with properties superior to modern cement. The site produces unusual electromagnetic phenomena, including energy emissions and acoustic properties that some researchers interpret as evidence of unknown technology. Underground tunnel networks feature carved stone spheres and ceramic objects that don't match known Bosnian archaeological cultures. Mainstream archaeology remains skeptical, arguing the formations are natural hills rather than artificial pyramids. However, continued excavation reveals increasingly complex structures that challenge conventional explanations for the site's origins. Chapter 31: The Lake Titicaca's Underwater Ruins. Beneath Lake Titicaca's waters, divers have discovered stone structures that appear to predate the rise of sea levels that created the lake's current dimensions. These underwater ruins include walls, terraces, and what appear to be ceremonial platforms submerged at depths suggesting great antiquity. The structures are built from precisely fitted stone blocks similar to later Inca construction, but show weathering patterns consistent with submersion for thousands of years. Some walls extend deep into the lake bottom, suggesting they once stood on dry land before water levels rose. Carbon dating of organic materials found within the ruins indicates ages exceeding known civilizations in the region by several millennia. This timeline suggests advanced stoneworking cultures existed in the Andes long before previously established archaeological chronologies. This discovery challenges assumptions about when sophisticated architecture first appeared in South America and raises questions about climate changes that could have flooded established settlements around Lake Titicaca. Chapter 32: The Rujum El Hiri Stone Circles. In the Golan Heights, a massive stone structure known as Rujum El Hiri consists of concentric circles spanning over 500 feet in diameter. Built from basalt stones, the monument contains approximately 42,000 tons of material arranged in precise geometric patterns that can only be fully appreciated from above. The structure dates to approximately 3000 BCE, making it contemporary with early Stonehenge construction, but far larger in scope. The central burial chamber was added later, suggesting the site served multiple purposes over centuries of use. Astronomical alignments in the structure correspond to celestial events, including the summer solstice sunrise and various star positions throughout the year. The precision required for these alignments demonstrates sophisticated astronomical knowledge among the builders. Who constructed this massive monument and why remains completely unknown. The engineering effort required coordinated labor from hundreds of people over extended periods, yet no contemporary civilization in the region shows evidence of such organizational capabilities. Chapter 33: The Kakno Stone Symbols.
Scotland's Cocknoe Stone, a Neolithic rock covered with intricate cup and ring markings, represents one of Europe's finest examples of prehistoric rock art. The stone features over 90 symbols carved in complex patterns that may represent maps, astronomical observations, or religious significance. The symbols were created approximately 5,000 years ago using techniques that required careful planning and execution. Some researchers interpret the markings as ancient maps showing topographical features, while others see astronomical charts tracking celestial movements. Computer analysis reveals mathematical relationships between the symbols, including geometric progressions and spiral patterns that suggest sophisticated understanding of mathematics and geometry. The precision of the carving exceeds what would be expected from simple decoration. The stone was buried for protection in 1965, limiting modern study. However, recent digital analysis using advanced imaging techniques continues to reveal new details about these mysterious Neolithic symbols and their possible meanings.
Chapter 34: The Nan Madol, Venice of the Pacific. In Micronesia, the ancient city of Nan Madol consists of nearly 100 artificial islands connected by canals, earning it the nickname Venice of the Pacific. Built from basalt megaliths, some weighing over 50 tons, the city represents an engineering achievement that challenges assumptions about Pacific Island capabilities. Construction required quarrying basalt from distant locations and transporting massive blocks across water to build the artificial islands. The builders somehow moved and positioned these enormous stones using techniques that remain unexplained, especially given the lack of large trees for creating transport devices. Local legends claim the city was built by twin sorcerers who could levitate the stones into position using magic spells. While obviously mythological, these stories might preserve memories of unknown construction techniques that appeared magical to observers. The city served as the ceremonial and political center of the Saudilur dynasty until approximately 1500 CE. However, how the builders achieved such massive construction projects on a remote Pacific island remains completely mysterious.
Chapter 35: The Dolmens of Russia. Thousands of ancient stone structures called dolmens dot the landscape. These megalithic monuments, built from massive stone slabs, required precisely cutting and positioning blocks weighing several tons each. The construction methods and purpose of these structures remain unexplained. Each dolmen consists of large stone slabs forming chambers with small circular holes in the front panels. The precision required to create these openings in hard stone using primitive tools seems impossible. Yet thousands exist throughout the region, suggesting widespread knowledge of advanced stoneworking techniques. Some dolmens show evidence of acoustic properties, with the chambers creating resonance effects when sound is produced inside. This suggests the builders understood principles of acoustics and intentionally designed the structures to amplify or modify sound in specific ways. Local legends describe the dolmens as houses of ancient giants or dwellings of supernatural beings. While mythological, these stories might preserve memories of the original builders and their remarkable stoneworking capabilities.
Chapter 36: The Blythe Intaglios Giants. In California's Colorado Desert, massive ground drawings called the Blythe Intaglios depict human and animal figures stretching over 100 feet in length. These ancient geoglyphs, created by removing dark surface gravel to expose lighter soil beneath, can only be fully appreciated from aerial viewpoints. The largest human figure measures approximately 170 feet from head to toe, making it one of North America's largest geoglyphs. The proportions are anatomically correct despite the massive scale, suggesting the creators had methods for maintaining accuracy across such large dimensions. Dating estimates place the intaglio's creation between 400 and 2,000 years ago, though the exact age remains uncertain. The desert's arid conditions have preserved the images, but their original purpose and creators remain unknown to archaeologists studying Native American cultures. The figures show remarkable detail, including anatomical features, decorative elements, and what appear to be ceremonial objects. The precision suggests the creators had aerial observation capabilities or sophisticated surveying methods to ensure accuracy from ground level. Why ancient peoples created these massive desert drawings remains completely mysterious. The effort required coordinated work from multiple people over extended periods, yet no associated settlements or artifacts have been found in the surrounding area.
Chapter 37: The Cairns of Scotland. Throughout Scotland's highlands, thousands of ancient stone cairns mark the landscape, many containing chambers and passages that demonstrate sophisticated engineering knowledge. These megalithic structures required precise planning and advanced understanding of structural engineering to prevent collapse over millennia. The cairns often feature complex internal architecture, including corbel chambers, drainage systems, and astronomical alignments that suggest they served purposes beyond simple burial monuments. Some contain passages oriented toward specific celestial events, indicating the builders possessed detailed astronomical knowledge. Construction required moving and positioning massive stone slabs using techniques that remain unexplained. The precision of the stonework, with blocks fitted so tightly that no mortar was needed, demonstrates craftsmanship that rivals modern masonry work. Who built these thousands of cairns and why they required such sophisticated engineering remains unknown. The structures represent a level of prehistoric organization and technical knowledge that challenges conventional understanding of ancient Scottish capabilities.
Chapter 38: The Hypogeum of Hal Saflieni. Malta's Hypogeum represents the world's only known prehistoric underground temple, carved entirely from living rock approximately 5,000 years ago. This three-level structure demonstrates acoustic engineering so sophisticated that whispers in certain chambers can be heard throughout the entire complex. The underground temple features precisely carved chambers, decorative elements, and what appear to be sleeping niches arranged in geometric patterns. The construction required removing thousands of tons of limestone using primitive tools while maintaining structural integrity throughout the excavation process. Acoustic tests reveal the hypogeum was designed to amplify and resonate human voices at specific frequencies. The oracle chamber creates dramatic sound effects that would have seemed supernatural to ancient peoples, suggesting the builders understood principles of acoustic engineering. How Neolithic peoples possessed the engineering knowledge to create such a complex underground structure remains unexplained. The hypogeum suggests prehistoric Malta hosted a civilization with advanced architectural and acoustic capabilities that disappeared without leaving other traces. Keep the pace lively, moving the story forward as with remarkable straight lines that extend for miles. The Karnak stones, erected between 3,000 and 6,000 years ago, represent the world's largest collection of megalithic alignments, yet their purpose remains completely unknown. The stones are arranged in multiple parallel rows with mathematical precision that required sophisticated surveying techniques to maintain straight lines across varying terrain. Some alignments point toward specific astronomical phenomenon, suggesting the builders tracked celestial movements with remarkable accuracy. Individual stones weigh several tons and were quarried from distant locations before being transported and erected using unknown methods. The scale of the project required coordinated effort from hundreds of people over generations, indicating a highly organized prehistoric society. Various theories suggest the alignments served as astronomical calendars, religious processional routes, or territorial markers. However, no definitive explanation accounts for the massive effort required to create these mysterious stone arrangements that stretch across the Breton landscape. Chapter 40: The Underwater City of Dwarka. Off India's western coast, marine archaeologists have discovered what appear to be submerged city ruins that match descriptions of the legendary city of Dwarka from ancient Sanskrit texts. These underwater structures include walls, streets, and architectural features that suggest a sophisticated urban center. Sonar mapping reveals geometric patterns on the seafloor that appear artificial rather than natural formations. Stone blocks, pottery fragments, and what appear to be foundation structures have been recovered from depths suggesting submersion occurred thousands of years ago. Ancient texts describe Dwarka as a magnificent city built by Krishna that was eventually swallowed by the ocean. If the underwater ruins represent this legendary city, they would provide archaeological evidence supporting historical accounts previously considered purely mythological. The discovery challenges assumptions about ancient Indian maritime capabilities and urban development. However, the underwater location makes detailed excavation extremely difficult, leaving many questions about the site's origins and relationship to ancient texts unanswered. Chapter 41: The Giant Stone Spheres of Costa Rica. Costa Rica's Diquís Delta contains over 300 perfectly spherical granite balls, ranging from a few inches to over 6 feet in diameter. These pre-Columbian artifacts, created between 600 and 1600 CE, demonstrate precision that would challenge modern stoneworking techniques. The largest spheres weigh over 15 tons and maintain near-perfect spherical geometry with variations of less than 2 millimeters. Creating such precision requires advanced mathematical knowledge and sophisticated tools that supposedly didn't exist in pre-Columbian Costa Rica. Many spheres show evidence of having been moved from their original positions, suggesting they served purposes beyond decoration. Some are arranged in geometric patterns or alignments that might have astronomical significance, though their exact function remains unknown. How ancient Costa Rican peoples achieved such remarkable precision in stone carving remains completely mysterious. The spheres represent a level of mathematical and technical sophistication that doesn't match other artifacts from the same time period and region. Chapter 42: The Giza Pyramid's Mathematical Precision. Egypt's Great Pyramid demonstrates mathematical relationships and engineering precision that continue to amaze researchers. Built approximately 4,500 years ago, the structure incorporates advanced geometric principles, astronomical alignments, and construction techniques that challenge assumptions about ancient Egyptian capabilities. The pyramid's base perimeter, divided by its height, equals pi to several decimal places, suggesting the builders understood this mathematical constant centuries before it was officially discovered. The structure also incorporates the golden ratio and other advanced mathematical relationships. Construction required positioning over 2 million stone blocks, some weighing over 15 tons, with tolerances measured in millimeters. The engineering precision needed to achieve such accuracy using primitive tools seems impossible, yet the evidence stands before us. Internal passages align with specific stars and constellation positions, creating a three-dimensional star map within the structure. This astronomical precision required detailed knowledge of celestial mechanics and careful mathematical calculations during construction planning. In Texas, a hammer encased in Cretaceous rock has sparked debates about impossible archaeological finds. The London hammer, discovered in 1934, appears to be a modern tool embedded in rock formations supposedly 100 million years old. The hammer's wooden handle has partially fossilized, while the metal head shows composition consistent with modern steel manufacturing techniques. However, the surrounding rock matrix appears genuinely ancient, creating a paradox that challenges both geological and archaeological interpretations. Skeptics argue the hammer became encased in rapidly forming mineral deposits rather than ancient rock, while believers see evidence of advanced prehistoric civilizations. The artifact remains controversial because it suggests either unknown geological processes or impossible chronologies. Similar out-of-place artifacts surface periodically, each challenging conventional timelines and raising questions about what evidence we might be overlooking. The London hammer represents the broader mystery of artifacts that don't fit established historical narratives.
Chapter 44: The Callanish Standing Stones. On Scotland's Isle of Lewis, the Callanish Stone Circle creates a complex astronomical observatory that tracked celestial movements with remarkable precision 5,000 years ago. The standing stones align with lunar cycles, solar events, and stellar positions in ways that required sophisticated mathematical knowledge. The monument consists of a central circle surrounded by radiating stone avenues that point towards specific astronomical phenomena. The builders arranged the stones to create sightlines for tracking the moon's 18-year cycle and various stellar observations throughout the year. Local legends describe the stones as giants turned to stone by supernatural forces. But the astronomical precision suggests the builders possessed advanced understanding of celestial mechanics. The complex calculations required to create such alignments exceed what historians attribute to Neolithic peoples. How prehistoric Scottish peoples developed such sophisticated astronomical knowledge remains unexplained. The Callanish stones represent a level of mathematical and observational capability that challenges assumptions about Stone Age intellectual achievements. Chapter 45: The Paracas Textiles Technology. Ancient Peru's Paracas culture produced textiles with over 190 colors and thread counts exceeding modern fabric standards. These 2,000-year-old textiles demonstrate dyeing techniques and weaving skills that rival contemporary manufacturing capabilities. The fabrics maintain brilliant colors despite their age, suggesting dye formulations and preservation methods unknown to modern textile science. Some colors appear to be produced using techniques that haven't been successfully replicated using known ancient materials and methods. Thread counts reach over 500 threads per inch, approaching the density of modern high-quality fabrics. Achieving such precision required advanced loom technology and weaving techniques that shouldn't have existed in pre-Columbian South America. How ancient Peruvian peoples developed such sophisticated textile technology remains mysterious. The Paracas textiles suggest advanced chemical knowledge and manufacturing capabilities that don't match other artifacts from the same time period and culture. Chapter 46: The Rudj El Hiri Acoustic Properties. Israel's ancient Rudj El Hiri stone circle demonstrates acoustic engineering that amplifies and focuses sound in ways that suggest intentional design for ceremonial purposes. The structure's geometry creates sound effects that would have seemed supernatural to ancient peoples. Standing in specific locations within the stone circles produces echo effects and sound amplification that enhance human voices. The builders apparently understood principles of acoustic engineering and designed the monument to create dramatic auditory experiences. The acoustic properties work in conjunction with the structure's astronomical alignments, suggesting ceremonies that combined visual and auditory elements. This integration of sound and celestial observation indicates sophisticated understanding of multiple scientific principles. How ancient peoples developed such advanced acoustic knowledge remains unexplained. The sound engineering at Rudj El Hiri suggests prehistoric understanding of physics principles that weren't formally discovered until much later in human history. Chapter 47: The Romanian Trovants, Growing Stones. In Romania's Costiti region, mysterious stone formations called trovants appear to grow, move, and reproduce like living organisms. These geological oddities challenge conventional understanding of rock formation and demonstrate behaviors that seem impossible for inanimate objects. The trovants increase in size over time, with some growing from small pebbles to boulder-sized masses over decades of observation. They also appear to move positions, leaving trails that suggest mobility, and develop smaller stones around their base in processes resembling reproduction. Scientific analysis reveals the stones contain unusual mineral compositions and internal structures that might explain their anomalous behaviors. However, the mechanisms behind their apparent growth and movement remain unexplained by conventional geology. Local legends describe the stones as supernatural entities with lifelike properties, while researchers struggle to understand the natural processes that could produce such unusual geological phenomena in this remote Romanian valley. Chapter 48: The Nan Madol Construction Mystery. Micronesia's Nan Madol required transporting basalt columns weighing up to 50 tons across water to construct artificial islands. The builders accomplished this feat without large boats, cranes, or other heavy lifting equipment, using methods that remain completely unexplained. The basalt was quarried from Pohnpei's interior mountains and somehow transported to the construction site. Moving such massive stones across difficult terrain and water barriers would challenge modern engineering capabilities, yet ancient Pacific Islanders achieved this using unknown techniques. Local oral traditions speak of the stones being levitated into position through magical means, while practical explanations remain elusive. The logistics of construction suggest organizational capabilities and engineering knowledge that exceed what historians attribute to ancient Micronesian cultures. The mystery deepens when considering that Nan Madol's builders apparently abandoned the city suddenly, leaving behind an engineering achievement that couldn't be replicated today using similar resources and techniques. Chapter 49. The Borobudur Hidden Chambers. Indonesia's Borobudur Temple contains hidden chambers and passages that were sealed during construction, concealing artifacts and inscriptions that provide clues about the builder's advanced knowledge. Modern scanning technology continues to reveal previously unknown internal structures within this massive Buddhist monument. Ground-penetrating radar has identified voids and chambers within the temple structure that were intentionally sealed. Some contain Buddha statues and religious artifacts, while others hold inscriptions in ancient scripts that haven't been fully deciphered. The temple's construction required precise mathematical calculations to ensure structural stability while incorporating complex symbolic elements. The builders demonstrated advanced understanding of architecture, astronomy, and religious symbolism that integrated seamlessly into the monument's design. Recent discoveries suggest Borobudur contains more secrets than previously imagined, with hidden chambers and passages that might reveal additional information about the sophisticated civilization that created this remarkable religious complex.
Chapter 50. The Laos Plain of Jars. Scattered across Laos's Xianquang province, over 2,000 massive stone jars create one of archaeology's most puzzling sights. These megalithic containers, weighing up to 6 tons each, were carved from solid stone using techniques that remain unexplained. The jars vary in size, from small vessels to enormous containers over 10 feet tall and 9 feet in diameter. Each was carved from single blocks of stone, requiring advanced quarrying and sculpting techniques that would challenge modern stoneworking capabilities. Archaeological investigation is complicated by unexploded ordnance from the Vietnam War era, limiting access to many jar sites and preventing comprehensive study of this remarkable prehistoric mystery that spans hundreds of square kilometers. Chapter 51. The Antikythera Wreck Treasures. The Mediterranean shipwreck that yielded the Antikythera mechanism also contained numerous other artifacts that demonstrate the advanced state of ancient Greek technology and artistic achievement. Bronze statues, glassware, and mechanical devices from this 1st century BCE wreck continue to reveal new insights. Recent excavations have recovered additional bronze gears and mechanical components that suggest the ship carried multiple complex devices. These artifacts indicate ancient Greek civilization possessed more advanced technology than previously believed, with mechanical engineering capabilities approaching medieval standards. The wreck contained luxury items destined for wealthy Roman collectors, including bronze sculptures that demonstrate artistic techniques of remarkable sophistication. The quality of craftsmanship rivals Renaissance artwork and shows ancient artisans possessed skills that supposedly weren't developed until much later periods. DNA analysis of recovered organic materials provides insights into ancient trade networks and the international character of Mediterranean commerce. The wreck represents a snapshot of advanced ancient technology that was apparently lost for centuries. Chapter 52. The Newgrange Construction Techniques. Ireland's Newgrange Monument required transporting massive stones over hundreds of kilometers and positioning them with precision that ensures perfect astronomical alignment.
The construction methods used to achieve this feat 5,000 years ago remain completely unknown. The monument's builders somehow moved stones weighing several tons from quarries located far from the construction site. They accomplished this without wheels, large animals, or sophisticated lifting equipment, using techniques that left no archaeological evidence. The core-belled roof construction demonstrates advanced engineering knowledge that prevented collapse for over 5 millennia. The builders calculated load distribution and structural requirements with accuracy that rivals modern architectural standards. Most remarkably, the builders incorporated the gradual change in Earth's axial tilt over thousands of years into their astronomical alignment calculations, suggesting they understood precession cycles that weren't officially discovered until ancient Greek times.
Chapter 53: The Yonaguni Tool Marks Evidence. Underwater investigation of Japan's Yonaguni Monument has revealed what appear to be tool marks, quarrying evidence, and artificial modifications that suggest human construction rather than natural formation. These details strengthen arguments for the structure's artificial origin. Parallel grooves, right angles, and extraction points show patterns consistent with quarrying activities. The marks suggest systematic removal of stone blocks using tools that left characteristic signatures on the remaining rock surfaces. Geometric patterns throughout the site include steps, platforms, and connecting passages that seem designed for human use. The complexity and interconnection of these features argue against random natural formation and suggest planned construction. If confirmed as artificial, the tool marks would provide definitive evidence that advanced civilizations existed in the Pacific region thousands of years earlier than previously believed, requiring major revisions to archaeological timelines. Chapter 54: The Cocknow Stone Mathematical Patterns. Scotland's Cocknow Stone displays cup and ring markings arranged in mathematical patterns that suggest sophisticated understanding of geometry and numerical relationships. Computer analysis continues to reveal new insights about these 5,000-year-old symbols. The carved symbols follow geometric progressions and spiral patterns that demonstrate knowledge of mathematical principles supposedly not developed until much later in human history. The precision of the relationships suggests intentional mathematical design rather than random decoration. Some researchers interpret the patterns as ancient maps showing topographical features with mathematical accuracy, while others see astronomical charts tracking celestial movements. The symbols might represent multiple overlapping functions integrated into a single complex design. Recent digital imaging techniques reveal previously unnoticed details in the carvings, including subtle markings that might provide additional clues about the symbol's meaning and the mathematical knowledge of their Neolithic creators. Chapter 55: The Siberian Megalithic Structures. Russia's remote regions contain massive stone structures that demonstrate prehistoric engineering capabilities exceeding what historians attribute to ancient Siberian peoples. These megalithic sites required moving and positioning stones weighing hundreds of tons using unknowing methods. The structures include walls, platforms, and what appear to be defensive works built from precisely fitted stone blocks. The construction techniques mirror those found at more famous sites like Sacsayhuaman, suggesting widespread knowledge of advanced stoneworking methods. Remote locations and harsh climate make investigation difficult, but available evidence suggests these sites predate known civilizations in the region by thousands of years.
The builders possessed organizational capabilities and engineering knowledge that don't match other archaeological evidence from prehistoric Siberia. Local legends describe the structures as remnants of ancient giant civilizations or supernatural constructions, preserving possible memories of the remarkable peoples who created these mysterious megalithic monuments in Russia's vast wilderness.
Chapter 56: The Easter Island Rongo-Rongo Script. Easter Island's Rongo-Rongo script represents one of the world's few independently developed writing systems, yet its meaning remains completely undeciphered despite decades of scholarly investigation. The symbols appear to encode a complex language that died with the last literate practitioners. The script consists of over 700 distinct symbols carved into wooden tablets using shark teeth and obsidian tools. The symbols represent one of Polynesia's most sophisticated intellectual achievements, suggesting Easter Island culture was more advanced than previously believed. Attempts to decipher Rongo-Rongo have been unsuccessful because no bilingual texts exist to provide translation keys. The script apparently encoded religious chants, genealogies, and cultural information that was transmitted orally alongside the written symbols. The Rongo-Rongo tablets represent a lost intellectual tradition that parallels the island's other mysteries. How did isolated Easter Island develop such a complex writing system? And what knowledge died when the last practitioners disappeared? Chapter 57: The Carnac Stone Acoustic Properties. France's Carnac stone alignments demonstrate acoustic properties that suggest the megalithic rows were designed to channel and amplify sound across the landscape. The stones create natural acoustic channels that could transmit voices and musical sounds over great distances. Standing at specific positions within the alignments produces echo effects and sound amplification that enhance communication between distant points. The builders apparently understood how stone positioning could manipulate sound transmission across the countryside. Archaeological experiments reveal that ceremonies conducted at certain locations within the stone rows would have created dramatic acoustic effects audible throughout the alignments. This suggests the monument served functions beyond simple astronomical observation. The integration of acoustic engineering with astronomical alignments indicates sophisticated understanding of multiple scientific principles by prehistoric peoples who created one of the world's most extensive megalithic complexes. Chapter 58: The Hyperborean Civilization References. Ancient Greek and Roman texts describe a mysterious northern civilization called Hyperborea, whose people possessed advanced knowledge and lived in a paradise beyond the reach of normal humans. These accounts might preserve memories of actual prehistoric cultures with remarkable achievements. Classical authors describe Hyperboreans as highly civilized peoples with advanced technology, longevity, and peaceful societies. While obviously mythologized, these accounts show remarkable consistency across multiple independent sources spanning centuries. Some researchers identify possible connections between Hyperborean descriptions and archaeological evidence from northern European megalithic sites. The advanced astronomical knowledge and engineering capabilities demonstrated at these locations match some aspects of classical descriptions. Whether Hyperborea represents mythological fantasy or distorted memories of actual prehistoric civilizations remains debatable. However, the persistent references across ancient literature suggest these stories might preserve kernels of historical truth about remarkable northern peoples. Chapter 59: The Global Pyramid Connection. Pyramidal structures appear on every inhabited continent, often showing remarkable similarities in construction techniques, astronomical alignments, and mathematical relationships despite being built by supposedly unconnected civilizations thousands of years apart. From Egypt's Giza complex to Cambodia's step temples, from Peru's Huacas to China's burial mounds, pyramid builders consistently demonstrated advanced mathematical knowledge, precise astronomical observations, and sophisticated engineering capabilities that challenge assumptions about independent cultural development. The similarities include specific geometric relationships, identical construction methods, and shared symbolic elements that seem unlikely to develop independently across isolated civilizations. These patterns suggest either common origins or contact between ancient cultures previously thought to be completely separate. The global distribution of advanced pyramid building knowledge represents one of archaeology's most persistent mysteries, raising profound questions about prehistoric human capabilities, cultural connections, and the possibility of lost civilizations that influence development worldwide. Chapter 60: The Continuing Archaeological Enigmas. Every year brings new discoveries that challenge established archaeological theories and add to the growing catalog of unexplained ancient mysteries. From underwater cities to impossible artifacts, the evidence continues mounting that human prehistory contains chapters we haven't yet learned to read. Modern technology reveals previously hidden details in ancient sites, often raising more questions than answers. Ground-penetrating radar finds chambers beneath known monuments. DNA analysis produces unexpected results from ancient remains. And computer analysis detects patterns in artifacts that suggest knowledge beyond supposed capabilities. The accumulating evidence points toward prehistoric human achievements that exceed what conventional archaeology considers possible for ancient peoples. Whether these mysteries represent lost civilizations, forgotten technologies, or misunderstood natural phenomena, they demand serious scientific investigation rather than dismissal. As we've seen tonight, our planet preserves countless secrets from the ancient past that continue to challenge our understanding of human history, technological development, and the remarkable capabilities of our ancestors who left behind mysteries we're still struggling to solve.